Okay, hi guys, it's the top of the hour. My name is Dr. Richlove, and as usual, I'm here. We are doing an F1 live series, F1 Visa Interview live series. And today we know that there's usually sometimes an issue of, getting a date, getting a date. Sometimes it takes so long. You get your I-20, now you don't have a date and you need to look for a date. Guys, this is reality. So welcome to my channel. And on this channel, I talk about study abroad, higher education, and anything that's going to elevate you as a person. In between, I throw in some lifestyles. Like I always say, I have been very low on that, but watch out, I'm really cooking something for you. So today we are going to talk about getting an emergency date. Now, assuming school, we know that fall begins in August, okay? So the semester usually begins ending of August, early September. Assuming you get your I-20 in July, I bet you me, there is no way, maybe June, July, that you may be able to get a date in Ghana. Maybe other African countries or other countries you can get it. But it's very hard. I know with time, the embassy, the American embassy, they are clearing their backlog. But sometimes there is still some, I believe there's still some backlog. So it's very hard to get a date. But there's a solution, and that's why I'm here for you. Today, I am with Dr. Gaba, and he's going to tell us his story. You know, I'm very practical. I bring you very practical things. So he's going to tell us a little bit about his journey, and then most importantly, the steps to follow to get your dates. Okay, so we are going to invite Dr. Gaba, and Dr. Gaba is going to come and is going to talk to us. So I apologize. I had to move my setup around, guys. It's not easy. So if you see me looking down, please, it's just my laptop, okay? I'm looking at your comments. So if you are here, please say something in the comment section below. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me who you are. Just say hi. Just say something. Questions. So please, let's invite Dr. Gaba. So that is Dr. Gaba. Hi.
Hi, Rich Love.
Dr. Gaba, why? Please rename yourself. Why haven't you put your doctor there? Why are you downplaying your title?
I'll rename it.
Okay, all right. Hello, Canada Must Obey. I see you. And Stanley, wow, you're watching all the way from Malawi. Stanley, thank you for watching me. I'm really impressed. I'm blessed. Okay, I hope you get a lot out of this. Don't forget to drop your questions. So, Uche Karing, hi, as informative as always. Yes. Thank you so much. So as we are going on, just say hi. Let me know who is here. I'm definitely going to give you a shout out, okay? Kojoke, hi. So we are going to start. So Dr. Gaba, please.
Yeah.
I can't do the introduction. It may be a bit heavy for me, and people may think because I know you or something. So please introduce yourself and let's get started.
Okay, so as Dr. Richlove rightly said, I'm Dr. Collins Gaba. And just like Richlove, I also graduated from the KNUST School of Medicine and Dentistry as a dentist in the year 2018. In fact, we are colleagues who graduated from the same course in the same class and in the same year. Yeah. And I followed her footsteps once again to Brandeis University, where I also read a Master of Science in Global Health Policy and Management. And the good news is I graduated May. So May is last month. Yeah, I walked to the stage. I was really looking forward to that day, and in fact, I did. And I am currently employed as a research associate at the Institute of Global Health and Development at Brandeis University. Yeah.
Guys, just look at this. This is amazing. Just look at this. Now, Collins is rubbing shoulders with people that, hey, you don't even find on the street. People are doing big projects, guys. I'm so happy. Like, as he rightly said, Collins was my mate. He was actually my study partner. Like, we've been studying together for years. So I'm so glad he decided willingly, guys, I didn't force him. He willingly decided to embark on this journey. And we were able to guide him, and he is here. So this is to tell you that the facts that I give you, or the things that I tell you, are very practical. They are doable once you apply them, once you stay to the channel, once you follow all our footsteps, you are going to be here. So not only do we talk about study abroad, we don't just leave you there when you come here. We give you tips to be able to survive in the United States as an international student. We give you tips to secure a job. And then I'm so happy we give you tips on what to do to be able to land that dream job, to get that dream money as well. But no, you don't have the dream money yet, but I promise you it's coming.
Most definitely.
Okay, all right. So walk us through, I know you, so I know like a lot.
Yeah.
Journey, what informed your decision to embark on your master's journey, and why United States of America, and basically that, tell us a little about that.
Woo. Okay, so I think that, I mean, we have started working as dentists for like 4 years. From 2018 to about 2021, it was about 3-4 years. And Dr. Rachel and I actually did write an exam to go into residency. I don't know whether I'm allowed to say this. We really studied so hard for that exam, and then we wrote the exam, and then by the grace of God, indeed, we passed the exam, and then we were left to like interviews to go for and possibly start the residency to become a specialist. But for me personally, I mean, it was exciting, but the truth is I wanted something like really big that was very difficult and very challenging, because I think I like challenging stuff and stuff that are quite difficult. So yeah, so at a point I realized that, what's something that's really huge and something very challenging that is very difficult to achieve. And I realized that, getting into the US, doing a master's degree in the US, and possibly pursuing a career further, there's something that's difficult. And of course, no pain, no gain. When the thing is bigger, the reward is usually bigger. And of course, I want a big reward. So I was like, you know what, I'm going for this. And that's what led me to this journey to pursue my master's degree here in the US. Yeah.
Wow. Bigger rewards and no pain, no gain. Guys, think about the no pain, no gain. It means there's some pain to the process, but there's also some gain. We are going to get into that. And then I just want to ask you one question. Do you have any regrets?
Oh, no, not at all. I've never been any happier. Every single day I'm happy.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Me, I was down. No, when I came here, I was very down, like for some time, and then I picked up, and then everything was fine. I'm so happy that so that's the thing. Somebody must not force you into the journey. You need to get your conviction. This is not for everybody, but once it's for you, you need to be able to go through the process and then get it. And then when you're done, you go back to your country to go and impact. I always tell people this, like, the journey is rewarded. It's different. It's another different challenge altogether. And it's very good. So tell us, how many schools did you apply to? And how many admissions did you get? Can you tell us a little bit about the schools? What informed your decisions to, apply to these schools?
So I applied to 3 schools. So Brandeis University, the Emory Rollins School of Public Health, and then the University of Minnesota. Yeah. So for the Rollins School of Public Health, I made that choice because, it's one of the very top schools when it comes to public health. And it has like a certain geographical advantage. It's well positioned very close to the CDC. And if you know public health, you really, it would be a dream job to land into the CDC. So I was like, you know what? Since this school is just by the CDC, let me just get into this school and hopefully I get an opportunity to work with the CDC. So that's what informed my decision. Oh, and in addition to that, I heard that Georgia is a good place to live. It's affordable. It's beautiful. So I was like, you know what? This state is checking all the boxes. So good school, good public health location, and then good states. I'm going for this. So that's what informed my decision to go for the Rollins School of Public Health. Then the next one was Minnesota University. That one is a public university, so their fees was quite affordable. And then I had read on their website there was a Ghanaian who had gotten in there and all that and was doing really well. So it sort of like inspired me. I was like, okay. And it's also a top school when it comes to the public health schools. It's all around the top 10 there. So I was like, you know what? This was a good choice to go for. And Brandeis University. Let me just put it straight. I chose Brandeis because I know someone. I know Dr. Resla who went to Brandeis. I'm like, you know what? This is an easy. Let me just follow her footsteps and just go for this school as well. Hence my. And of course, it's not just because of that. It was like it's actually a really really top school. So I was like, you know what? Top school, top state. I know someone who's personally been there and enjoyed the journey and is doing really well. So why not go for these three schools? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to break down everything that you said, and that is going to inform the decision. So I always say this, that when you're choosing your school, there's a lot that needs to go into it. You hear people, some of us, we the YouTubers, we go and say, oh, schools that you get assured funding, schools that you get this, no application fee, no application fee. I mean, sometimes these schools are, you just need to do your own research. Okay, like he said, he looked at the states, so you have to search by states. And I teach this. I have, a cohort of people I'm doing this with. I teach this and I tell them, look state by state, check the states, check the minimum wage of the state, check how the living is over there, check the number of, Africans there, stuff like that. There are little things that should inform the decision on the kind of school you need to go to, besides the tuition and all that. So all these are factors that he considered, especially when he was talking about the Rollins School of Public Health. And then the next thing he mentioned was knowing somebody, leverage on your network. Okay, if you know that you want to go to this school, you can go on LinkedIn. Now it's so easy to find alumni of that school. Go and see if there's somebody, just go into somebody's DM and just talk to them. People are so friendly. The last time I was just talking to somebody on LinkedIn that can be a possible mentor. I just went into his DM and then I sent him a message and he replied. He even gave me his personal number. So don't be afraid to leverage your network to be able to make that solid decision on which school to get. And sometimes the information is limited. So I have 12 people at the moment. If you are here, just tell me hi and tell me where you're watching me from. I see Shadrach. Hello from Nigeria. Hi, Shadrach. You're welcome. Henry, you're welcome. Emmanuel Amwa, you're welcome. And Clint, all the way from Kumerica, you are also welcome to this session. If you have to leave by any chance, don't worry. This video will be on my YouTube channel. You can come back anytime to come and watch it. Should ever be on. Okay. All right. So after you applied to these three schools, then what happened? Did you get admission into all the schools?
Okay, so I got admitted into all the schools.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll now talk about what led me to eventually landing with Brandeis University. So like she rightly said, so Minnesota gave me an application fee waiver, so I was able to apply to the school without paying for the application fee. That one you actually do have to apply. It's not automatic. You need to apply, and you should have attended about 2 or 3 online seminars for admission. Then when you've attended those seminars and you apply for the
okay, I think we lost you a bit. So if you could come again with that, would be very grateful. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was saying that for the Minnesota, the application fee waiver is not automatic. So you should have attended at least about 2 admission seminars. Then you apply, then they review and be sure that you attended the seminar. Then they grant you the application fee waiver.
Okay. Yeah. So this is also an important point. It's very, very important. And I'm going to be covering that soon on one of the videos that I will be doing. Please make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you'll be alerted when you get that video. There are other ways with which you can get application fee waivers. And this is one of the ways that he mentioned, to attend the seminars of the school. There are sometimes you could even directly send them an email. And then sometimes you can just tell them that you really want the school, but you don't have money to pay the application fee. There are some schools that can actually waive that for you. So that is a very good point there. And that is really rich information, Dr. Kaba. You can continue.
Yeah. And then for Brandeis University, it's automatic. If you are from, I don't know whether it's Sub-Saharan Africa or Africa, and you apply to certain courses, they give you an automatic application fee waiver. And then for the Rollins School of Public Health, that I had to pay for the application fee waiver.
Okay. So there are some schools you really have to pay, okay? There are some schools that are good that you have to pay. It doesn't mean that the fact that a school is not waiving the application fee does not mean that it's not a good school, or does not mean that you should take it out of your list. You need to save up some money to apply to at least 2 or 3 schools that are going to take that are going to actually take the application fee. Okay. So I see Wisdom from Ghana. Hi, home support. Henagaba. Hi. So thank you so much for joining us. If you've just joined us, we have 16 people now. If you've just joined us, please just let us know where you're watching us from. This session is lit. Okay, so Dr. Gaba, so now you got admission. So he applied to 3 schools and he got admission into all the schools. Wow, that's really amazing. Now, what informed your decision to finally settle for Brandeis?
Okay, so I'm sure Dr. Reslav is aware of the next story I'm about to tell. So for most of these schools, the school fees is not exactly cheap. So when you want to get into it, you really want to be sure that you've secured a scholarship. But to secure a scholarship, for most of them, they have what we call a priority deadline. So you should have applied by the priority deadline to be able to get these scholarships. So if you just applied by their normal deadlines, you'll not be able to get a scholarship. So I targeted the priority deadline, which I think was December 1 for most of the schools. So the goal was to be able to get into these schools to get my applications completed by December 1. Now that is when the trouble started. Ghana and KNUST, they really mafiaed me. Because for the University of Minnesota and then the Rolling School of Public Health, I needed to submit my WES transcript. That's the transcripts they wanted for the admission process. Now for this process, it's a back and forth between the school and then the WES. They do not want the student to be involved because they think it affects the credibility the students get involved. So there was a lot of back and forth of KNUST not sending them the right documents, not giving them the right email. Right from the onset, first transcript the school sent, they said it was an incomplete transcript. I don't even know how that happens. Then we continued this back and forth. And this surprisingly took about 3 months. So by the time this transcript was ready, December 1 was gone. And I lost out on my scholarship opportunities to the Rolling School of Public Health and the University of Minnesota. So even though I got into these schools, my application got in late, so I did not qualify to get a scholarship. But thankfully, Brandeis will accept your normal transcripts from your school. It's only when you are about to start the program that they request for your official transcripts. So because of that advantage, I was able to get into Brandeis early enough to be able to qualify for their scholarships. So I got good funding from Brandeis, and then I settled for Brandeis eventually. Yeah.
Okay, so if you have not watched my video on transcript evaluation, your WES transcript evaluation, you should go and watch it. And that's the reason why I say you need to start this process early. You need to start so early, because the good thing is that if you evaluate your transcripts, there's a way that you can evaluate it and they'll save it on their system. So anytime you need it, you just shoot them an email and they are really going to send it to the school. So you see, because of the way the transcript evaluation went, it's very dicey. Some people do it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they get theirs. I don't know how it fluctuates. People from different countries, and then I believe now there's a lot of load on them. I don't know what really happens. So sometimes it can be a challenge. So guys, go watch that video. Start that process very early if you haven't started this process. And then this is also a very good tip for you. So that's the thing about this channel. I give you very practical examples. I bring you, when I say something, I mostly know somebody who has gone through it. I mostly know, have a relationship with the person. The person can be able to come and tell us about it and how they were able to, go through that. So that's what I keep telling you, that you need to cast your net wide. Assuming you apply to only 2 schools and you didn't apply to Brandeis, that means you'd have lost your scholarship advantage and you'd have had to go through the next cycle again. So thank you so much for sharing that. And now you decided to go to Brandeis, and then what happened? So then mostly the next stage is to get your I-20, and after you got your I-20, now what happened? You tell us about your visa story. We are almost getting to the visa, guys.
Oh, visa story. Hey, I'll start by saying the process to the visa was more difficult than getting the visa. So I made a decision. I settled the Brandeis University. I mean, it was a very good decision. I still don't regret it. I'm done with the school, and I'm glad I chose Brandeis University, anyways. So they gave me my I-20, and the next step was to apply for the visa and get a date. So now here's a problem. So I applied for the visa, and Ghana, they are traveling too much. So the first visa date I got was, I think, in 2025 for regular.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Your school was supposed to be when? 2023?
Yeah, August 2023.
And you got your visa date in 2025.
2025, yeah.
That's past your graduation date.
It's way past.
That's a year after your graduation date. Wow.
It's way past. It's way past. Absolutely way past it. Yeah. Yeah. So then I went to the so I went to the website and I read about what were my options. So that's when they mentioned that for students, and I think for health cases and some other stuff, it's considered as urgent or as an emergency. So you can tell them, or you can explain to them that this is your situation. You need to go to school on this date, but the current interview date that you have is way past your admission date, and you would want them to be able to give you an opportunity to shift the day forward. So that's the next step of what you are supposed to do. So, and there are some terms and conditions, and to be able to get that process done as well.
Do you remember the terms and conditions? Because I think after this, I'll have to make some extracts and then go into the exact video in detail. So do you remember, just vaguely?
Yeah. So I think I remember some. The first condition is that you should have applied for a regular interview date. You can't just get up and say, "Oh, I'm hearing that the thing is busy. There are no dates. So hey, hi, I shoot an email. Please, I'm going to squeeze agents. Give me a date." No, they don't. They will not even mind you. So first step is that you should have applied for a regular interview date, and if that date is way past your admission date, it's then and only then that you are qualified to be able to appeal for an emergency date. So that's the first condition. The second condition is that you cannot just also shoot them an email requesting for an emergency date. You can only request for an emergency date when it's 60 days, within 60 days to your reopening date. So even though I think that I had applied for my regular date about 4 months to my admission date, I could not request for the emergency date. I had to wait for 60 days. That's about 2 months to my admission date or my reopening date to be able to request for the emergency date. And to request for the emergency date, you have to send them an email. So I remember the first time I drafted a very simple email that, "Hi, my name is Collins Gaba. I've applied to Brandeis. I'm going to school on August 31st, and I'm supposed to get in by this time, and my regular date is in 2025. And I showed it to Dr. Rishlav, and she was like, "Hey, this email, yeah, is too blunt. The Americans, they like juicy essays, so you need to be more like, you need to sound like it's important and urgent." So yeah. So she helped me to draft some nice email that was showing gratitude to them for the good work they do, and how urgent it is, and how I'm committed to the process, and how it will be of great help to me if they're able to grant me the emergency date and all that. Then eventually, so I sent the email to them, and then within 5 minutes, they had replied to me that, "Hey, we've approved your emergency."
I didn't know this part. 5 minutes.
Yeah, we had approved. I was literally jumping in my room.
Wait. 5 days or 5 minutes?
No, but I remember ironing my clothes. So I had sent them the email, and I was ironing my clothes. Then I got a feedback. I was like, "Already?" Like, I didn't even know it was from them. I checked. I was like, "Okay, they've approved my request for, or my appeal for, an emergency date." Yeah.
Wow. So that is how fast you were replied. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's the thing, guys. So where we are from and then where we are now, the way we communicate is very different. That is why we are here to be able to assist you in all these kind of processes. Okay, you can, the way we are trained to write and talk, and how we are trained to package ourselves is very, very different, guys. It's very, very different. So that's amazing. That's really good. I did not know that they approved you in 5 minutes. Wow. Let's continue. Let's listen to the story.
Okay, now that 5 minutes excitement wore off very quickly. The real journey was actually now about to start. So I thought, oh, once they've approved your emergency request, you just hop onto the website and then you just go and select your emergency date. My goodness, that was not a story. So it appears that apparently, I mean, I would assume that maybe roughly about 4 or 5 thousand. This is just my own personal guess. About 4 or 5 thousand people are probably also trying to come to school in that same year, and all these people are in the same situation, and they all need an emergency date to be able to make it to school on time. Now, the emergency date is they just released like a few dates, not even every day. I think there were weeks that maybe the whole week they'll release dates on only maybe 2 or 3 days. Of these 2 or 3 dates, the dates will be released at random times. And when they release those dates, they can release maybe 5 dates at a go or 10 dates at a go. So what this means is that if you have about 5,000 people all looking for the emergency date at a random time, on a random day, the US Embassy is going to release about 10 dates. So what it means is that fastest finger for a random time and a random date. You don't even know when, yet you have to be a fastest finger to be able to secure one of the slots that they release. It was a
This
lot.
is a crazy process. So you see, everybody has a story. That's what you guys don't know. Most of the people who are here, everybody has a story to tell. That is why I really wish that everybody could come here to tell their story, not to scare you or frighten you, but to prepare you for the task that is ahead. Okay, because the process is daunting, but it is rewarding. So when you are mentally prepared and you know that this is what I'm going to face, then you just go through it and you get prepared. You go through it, you finish, and then you are very, very happy and it's successful. Okay, so we are talking to Dr. Gaba, and this is my channel. If you haven't said hi, just say hi. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the comments and I'm going to read it. I think we have just one question, and I would read it and we'll answer it, then we can continue. We are talking about how to secure an emergency date. Just in case you get your I-20 late and then you really need to go to school, you check the date and it's somewhere 2 years, like she said, 1 year, and it's anytime afterwards. You can be able to follow this process, get yourself an emergency date, go for your interview, and come here before school starts, okay? So Canada Must Obey says that, how do you get I-20 at Dr. Rich Lab? So Canada Must Obey I-20 is a document that the school provides you for you to take for your interview. On the document, you have quite a number of things. You have your school's name, your CVS number, and all that. And it has your program and the full cost of your program, and just a lot of information that the embassy would need for you to be able to go for the interview, to show them. It's a document to really show them that this is the school. If this is Brandeis University, this is Brandeis University. I am saying that Dr. Gaba has got admission into this school, and then kindly give him a visa to be able to come. So we have 18 people, and if you are new, just say hi, just say hello. I see Boat saying hello. And so I hope I have answered your question, Canada Must Obey. I have other videos on my channel that talks about this and talks about the whole process. We're also doing the application to admission process. So if you have no idea as to how to apply for schools in the United States of America, then this series will be for you. So Dr. Gaba, I have a question.
Okay.
How do you know that they've released dates? Because as I'm sitting here, like, how would I know? How's the process like?
So, before I answer that question, I just remembered one of the terms and conditions. I'll answer that and then talk about how they've released the date. So one of the terms condition, like I mentioned earlier, is that you can only appeal for that emergency date within 60 days to your reopening date. If you appeal before the 60 days, they will deny you. And if you also appeal too close to your reopening dates, they'll deny you. And it's very important that you don't get denied, because there's also a clause that says that if you appeal for an emergency date and you are denied, that request is denied, you cannot request for an emergency again until after 6 months. Yeah. And by that 6 months, your course has probably gotten to the middle, so hopes are dashed. So you really need to follow the instructions carefully. I know people
Please, I
who
like
had
my Sierra Leone, please.
I know people who actually apply like 1 month to 1 week or 2 weeks to their reopening date, and were denied. And I was telling the person that yeah, the embassy sort of has a reason, because they've told you that 60 days to the reopening date, you come to us, appeal, and we will help you. You've waited until you have like 1 week to reopen. Like you're coming to now make it look urgent. Like it's 1 week, you put them under stress because there are no dates. So they are likely to deny you. So make yourself some time. I mean, follow the instructions. So me, when they said 60 days to the reopening, I played safe. I didn't do it on the 60th day because I don't know how they counted. So around the 55th day, I popped in my email and my request was granted. Now to Dr. Reschla's question about how do you know that dates we release, because it's on a random day at a random time.
Wow.
So at the season, I heard that there were actually WhatsApp groups in Ghana. Association of people looking for dates to go for interview had been built
so
in
there were
Ghana.
WhatsApp groups that were dedicated to that.
Oh yes.
That's the united spirit of Ghanaians, okay?
Yes.
When it comes to stuff like that, that's the united spirit of Ghanaians. Wow. There were WhatsApp groups. Okay, so we have 19 people. If you are here new, just say hi. We are talking about how to secure your emergency date. Now we are at a point where there are actually WhatsApp groups that have been created. Wow. How do I know that there's a WhatsApp group like that?
So you need to talk to people, because who did I even talk to? I think I spoke to another guy who I knew who was also traveling at the time. And he said there are WhatsApp groups. I was like, you know what, bro? Hit me up the link. I need to join. I need to join. There were a number. I remember those days. Accra date hunting page, USA emergency date hunting page. So I joined I think I joined about 2 of them. And man, those pages were strict. Oh my goodness. I had never seen people that strangers come together so united, yet so diligent, disciplined, and so strict. So this was the whole idea about how to get a date. So they decided that it was like a competition. You have to agree that first of all it's a competition, because 5,000 people, this is a random number, 5,000 people are gunning for 5 dates that will be released probably at Wednesday at 12:05 p.m. And nobody knows. Nobody has. I mean, this is not a Ghana institution where we can have inside information. We did, but nobody got any inside information. It was so, exclusive. You cannot get the information. So this is what we did. And so so initially we thought that, for example, the first day I got the appeal that I could apply for the emergency, we thought that, since it's random, what I would do is that I'll log in onto the website and stay there the whole day, or I'll be logging in every single every few minutes. I'll log into the website so that when dates are released are random, I'll be able to pick the date quickly. Now the US embassy people too, they are equally smart. They came for us. So apparently they realized that when you begin to log in, for each login, you're only allowed to stay on the website for about 5-7 minutes, and they will automatically log you out of the website. Yeah. And then for every day, you can log in for about just 9 times. So for that 5 minutes, for every day, you can do it for just about 9 times a day. Yeah. And you've exhausted your limits. That's it. You are out. So when you persist, this is even the funnier part. When you persist, they block you from the website for 24 hours.
Are you serious? This is stressful.
Yeah, and when you persist after you've been blocked for 24 hours and you persist again, they block you for 72 hours. Exactly. So that means 72 hours of your chance gone. You have no access to the website.
And this is the same site that you are using to get the dates to be able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get it. That's the USCIS website, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
the US Embassy website. So eventually, that's what brought the United Nation of Emergency Date Seekers in Accra coming or in
Study
Ghana coming together.
abroad.
So the idea was that since each person has, let's say, 5 minutes about 9 times a day, which even if you add maybe just 45 minutes in total a day, and you don't know when the date will even be released, we decided that, you know what, let's all come together. So on a WhatsApp page of about, say, 100 people, man, we
Mm-hmm.
had prefects.
Hey.
We had group prefects, and people they actually drew like a timetable, a draft for every single minute. I mean, literally every single minute. So maybe they'll put there, Kofi, you are checking at 9:01 to 9:03. Then you check again at 9:02 to 9:06. Then they put Ama, you are checking from 8 and because we had like, let's say, 100 people on the page, we're able to put up all our small minutes into each individual minute of the day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There was a time slot for every single person to check.
Wow. This is unity.
Yeah.
This is unity at its best and the highest and most efficient system I've seen. Wow. The most efficient Ghanaian system.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right? Efficient to escape. I mean, so it was that's what we did. And for this, let's say the whole day, it's not just left to chance that maybe 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Then there's they've given you time. After they've done this,
Oh,
for
okay.
each
So
block
we
of,
lost you
let's
a
say,
bit. So you said for the whole day. Mm-hmm.
okay, so for the whole day, after they've given each person a slot, so maybe from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I mean, every single minute, there's someone assigned to check. The next step was that for, let's say, a block of hours, for about three, each maybe 2 or 3 hours, there's a captain in charge of that 3 hours to call people out and say, Kofi, you go at 7:01. Kofi, you go at 7:02. Then they call Yima, you are going at 7:03. Then they call George, you are going at 7:05. George, you are going at 7:04. Then they'll call. Then
Jeez.
somebody will come on, I'm available. Can I go? I have work. So can I do my own now? Then it's okay. Be on standby. We'll swap you. Then they'll say maybe Erasmus, come in at 7:06. And we did not know each other. And it was very strict. If they call on you and you do not show up, at the end of the day, there's a review with the committee and you will be removed.
And that means you've actually lost your chance to get your F1 visa date. So everybody is going to be serious.
Yes, you'll be removed because the idea is that if it's your time to check and you do not check, should a date be released at that time? Should maybe they release on maybe 5 or 20 slots at that time? Because you did not check, we will all
You
lose out on the opportunity
jeopardize
to be
the
able to
whole
win.
group's opportunity.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if you are not serious, you are cleared out of the group. There's a whole review committee at the end of every day to review who checked, who missed, who did not show up, and you are removed if you did not show up.
But how do they know you check?
Oh, because when it's your time, they call on your name. So maybe they said maybe George coming at 7:05. 7:05, George did not answer. They mark you down because you remember that each block of hour has a class prefect. So the class prefect knows
There's
that when I
somebody in
called you,
charge.
yeah, when I called
Wow.
you, did not show up.
Wow, this is a crazy story. Guys, I knew the story, but I didn't know these details. So I am astonished as you are. You are on my channel and we are talking about how to secure an emergency date. The process was just crazier than I imagined. If you are here, just say hi. We have about 20 people. So Canada must obey. Yeah, that was crazy. Hi, Rodalove. That was a very efficient system. That's very true. TLA, hearts and love right back to you. Now we have a question here. I am going to mount the question so we can read it. Please, can one take a letter from your employer to the interview to show them that you have leave of 2 years? Yes, Nathaniel, this is a very, very good question. And yes, you can actually take this. That has allowed you, so they know that it's your institution that has allowed you to, go to school, and then it's a form of home to come back. Okay, so thank you so much for the question. We are going to continue to the story. Okay, TLA, hi back. If you are new here, just say hi. Okay, so Dr. Gaba, let's continue.
Okay, so now here is how you know if a date has been released. So this was the idea. So should you log on the page and then you see that they've released maybe slots that there are dates available for emergency. We decided that once you see that, you pick your slot, and it takes maybe just about one few seconds to pick your slot. You pick your slot, and then immediately you pick your slot, you come back to the WhatsApp page and put up green ticks. Green text shows that dates have been released, so that once all of us on the page see green text sharp, we all run to the website to also go and chase after those slots that have been released. So that was the idea of how you can be able to pick a date. So I mean, now this was
Wow.
the
And there
yeah,
were people
and
for night shift too.
oh, so usually we would end around 7 p.m. because they used not to release like a lot of data at night. So, but they did. Those were a few. So 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. was the one that we were very strict about. Yeah.
Yeah, Rhoda has a green tick. It means she's enjoying this. So we will also develop our system. If you're enjoying this, give us green ticks, okay? Green ticks. We want to see a lot of green ticks. Green ticks. Let's go. Okay, so let's move on.
Now those green ticks, I've never in my life had palpitations before than to see a green tick.
Guys, if you are not medically, like, if you're not in the medical field, palpitations are like, like heartbeats, like really, really fast heartbeats. Okay. So he's trying to say that, he was very, very anxious. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a doctor in a clinic attending to patient. Then you see a green tick pop up on your page, like, oh my god, where's my phone? I need to quickly log in the website. And then you have to be, because your internet has to be fast. And you see, what even made it difficult is that you can see a green tick on the page. Let's see about those things were painful. 12:01, you see a green tick on the page. That shows that slots have been released. You take your phone, you log in as quickly as possible. 12:02, you are on the website, dates are finished, they are gone. 1 minute, they can release 25 dates or 25 slots in 1 minute. You do all your fastest finger and get there in 1 minute after you saw your green tick. The dates are gone. It was just crazy. Yeah. So it was almost like, I mean, at a point, it was almost becoming like a hopeless situation because I had several sleepless nights during that period. And I think this went on for about 2 weeks straight. So imagine about 2 weeks, every single minute I was by my phone, hoping for a green tick. And I saw several green ticks, hopped onto the website within 1 minute. And for each time I got there was no date. It was gone. And there were times I would say, now this is not true. No date was released because I was on the website immediately I saw the green tick. But somebody on the page will say, I got it. Then he said, hey, okay, then it means it was true. Yeah, and there were other WhatsApp pages too that existed elsewhere. Someone will come and
Exactly.
say that, yeah, someone on another WhatsApp page got the slot. And that's the reason we were strict, because if you don't show up at your time to report, there's also another gang of groups that will also quickly mop up the date. So we were really strict about that. So this went on for, I think, about 2 weeks. And it was about July. So I was supposed to get to school August 27, August 28. So now we are in around July 20th. I still don't have a date to even go for my visa interview. Yeah, about 6 weeks for me to reopen school. And I still don't have a date for me to go for the visa interview. So now it was serious. We're hunting. Yeah, no matter how urgent of a thing you are doing, your phone is in your hand. Then it was, I think, one Friday, I was in the clinic, I had finished my treatments, and then I just picked my phone and I saw a green tick on the page. So when I saw a green tick, as usual, I hopped onto the page quickly, and when I got there, for the first time in 2 weeks of diligence, my eyes saw slots for I think 7 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 10 a.m. And I quickly picked 10 a.m. And that was the day I got a slot. That was about July 25th. That's when I finally got a slot to be able to go for
Yeah, so
the
that
visa.
was just like about a month before you start school. So
Yeah,
we see the
yeah,
green ticks. Please keep the green ticks coming. Keep
yeah.
the green ticks coming. I see you're enjoying this, and you can share. You see, share with other people so they can benefit from it. Okay. When they say share the link, fast, fast, midnight, people will be sharing the link. But you not share this link, okay? Share this link. You don't know who is looking for an emergency date, who is doing this F1 process. Sometimes people can be discreet about it. You can share it to somebody, put it on your WhatsApp statuses and let them come and enjoy the story as well. We are learning from his life story. He really suffered to get his emergency date. And so as hopeless as the situation looked, he persevered, and then look at him now. He's done and he's working. So tell us about your visa interview. Now, even before you tell us about the visa interview, if somebody is in this process, just list things that number one, the person should do this, number two, number three, number four. And I think I have to take it upon myself and work with you to be able to find ways to find this WhatsApp group for my
Yeah.
subscribers. I do love my subscribers. I bring them value. So if you are in such, a situation, all you have to do is to follow me on Instagram and just shoot me a message, and we are going to work together to help you to join one of these groups to be able to get your visa date. Okay, so just give us the list. Number one, do this. Number three, number two, like that, so that we have it like summarized, and then it will be like a take-home point for them to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I would say is that if you should have your admission, because to embark on the visa process, it means that you have your admission, you've accepted the offer, and you've paid your deposit. Then the school will give you your I-20. Once they've given you your I-20, you need to buy your visa form, and then you apply for the visa. You apply for a regular visa date, and most often than not, it's going to be way beyond your reopening date or admission date. Now you need to follow the instructions carefully. You can only apply for appeal for an emergency date 60 days to your reopening date. So you need to know your reopening date, and then within 60 days to your reopening date, you send them an email requesting for an emergency date. Now you have to make sure that you don't send the email too late. They're giving you 60 days to your reopening date. Don't send them the email 1 week to your reopening dates that 1 week is urgent, I need. They may deny you. And once they deny you, there's no second chance to appeal for an emergency
An
date.
emergency date.
Yeah. Then
Okay. Oh.
once they grant you the access to be able to appeal for the emergency, you have to find the, or we'll help you find the WhatsApp pages to be able to join, because the WhatsApp pages really help you monitor every single minute, because you cannot do it all by yourself. You need help, because the thing is, it's a random date, random time, just a few slots, and you yourself have limited access to the page. Like I rightly said, 5 minutes for about 9 times a day. So you have limited access. And one of the practical things I know people did was that there was somebody who even reached out to me to be able to get the emergency date. But she was very, very, very busy. She was like a very busy person. So she actually paid somebody to be monitoring the WhatsApp page for her, because you can, if you're a busy person, then it means the release dates are several random times during the day and you not be able to find it. So this person reached out to me, I think it was on a Tuesday. The person reached out to me, and then she paid somebody to actually monitor the page and join the page and monitor for her. I think in about she was very fortunate. I used almost 2.5 weeks of slaving to get a date. She joined the page, and in just about 2 days, she got to me on Tuesday. By Thursday, she had gotten a date to go for the visa interview. Then, when you're also in this process of going for the visa interview, you have to, if applying for the emergency, you have to make sure that all documents you need for the interview are absolutely ready, because when they grant you an emergency date, it is not 2 weeks from the days. I got my date on a Friday, and the date was for me to show up on Tuesday for the visa
Wow.
interview. Yeah, so that's like basically the weekends, Friday, Saturday and then Monday to prepare for the visa interview. I know someone also got a date on a Thursday and was supposed to show up on a Saturday for the visa interview. So it's not now that you wait for to get the visa date and say, you know what, let me now get this documents from here, this documents from. In fact, one of the people I know actually was in a similar situation. The person got a date, the usual emergency date, and was supposed to show up for the interview in about 2 days. And the person was not able to review one of her documents, and she got denied. And I'm sure it's because she did not have her documents ready and prepared for the interview. So she went there ill prepared and definitely was denied. So you need to be ready by the time you begin to embark on this emergency dates process as well. Yeah.
Wow, guys. Yes. So yeah, share the link. Yeah, Kujoke, share the link. Yeah. Yeah, this is crazy. Yes, Clint, yes, this is outrageous. It really is outrageous. I keep saying I didn't know this was how serious the process was. Okay. So this, like he said, please put all your documents together before you even decide to go for this process. So after you got this date, let's talk about the visa. Now, this is an F1 visa interview process. So no matter the live session that we do, we are going to leave you with tips and tricks to answer your questions. How did you prepare? And what did you do that day? You know, first of all, how did you prepare towards it? What did you do to be able to prepare? Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So this is the point where you have to understand that the Dr. Eshlavimbro handle is very, very, very important. I'm an extremely detail-oriented person. I mean, I think so. And I followed everything that she's been teaching to the very last, to the point of even how to organize your documents for the visa interview. She actually has a video on that. I literally watched the video. I went to town. She mentioned some colored clips to buy. I bought the colored clips, each to represent maybe this financial data, personal data, education data. I had my clear bag and everything. I followed every single step. And I remember reaching out to her. Then we trained for the visa interview, the questions that they would usually ask at the interview. I think she had outlined the questions that are asked during the visa interview.
Okay, so I don't know what's happening to my internet today. This is supposed to be good, but
sometimes.
we missed the session. So you should start from where you went to buy the clear bag. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to town, I got the clear bag and then the colored clips, like she rightly thought in her video. I got all of it down. And then she went through with me there's for F1 visa interviews, there's usually a series of questions that they would usually ask. So she gave me a list of all these questions. And I was actually supposed to take a book. You know, you need to take the thing serious. I took a book and a pen and I wrote all the answers as if I was going to write an exam. So I wrote like question, what are you going to do in the US? Why the US? Why this school? How are you going to fund the process? So I took a book and a pen and I wrote out all the answers to these questions, detailed by detail. And I remember when I reached out to her and then I mean, we discussed the answers. Then she gave a lot of pointers. Don't say this way. Say this way. Answer this way. Then we rehearsed again. Then I went through everything. I remember that my younger brother was at home at the time, so I went to him. Then we did like a mock session for the interview. So he would hold the book and ask me the questions, and I would go through it. And all the answers to these questions are in her videos, and even the questions itself are in the video. So you have to find the videos and all these answers. I went through them step by step to the point where the answers become very natural to you. It's extempo. You don't need to off the cuff. You can give the answers. You'll be relaxed. You'll be confident. You have like, I think in a previous video of Joshua, they were saying it has to be like a conversation. And this can only happen if you've gone through the questions and the answers. So that you don't go and get surprised like, hey, why this question? Then I mean, these people they can read your facial expressions and things. So that's one of the things I did practically and helped me at the visa interview. Yeah.
Wow, guys. So you see, we are not playing on this channel. We are not joking. And we have numbers, we have testimonies. And so the thing is that sometimes the problem with sometimes some of my subscribers is they wouldn't watch all your videos, they wouldn't watch anything, and they'll just come to you and say, oh, can you help me? When you do that, you make my work very harder. So I have a job, you have a job. So make sure you watch all the videos. Even the old videos are even the most potent videos. And another thing I just took from you was that you are done with your process. You are even in school, but you're even watching our live session. So guys, if this process is something that you want to do, you don't have to miss any video. Every video we put out here is tailored towards helping you and, helping you to reach that goal that you really want to do. Okay. So that is amazing. That is good. I always say this: practice, 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 practice. If anybody comes to me and I say, go and watch my videos, they think I have ulterior motives. But you get a paper, you get not a paper, a book, not a paper. You get a book, you write the question, you write the answer, you do it over and over and over again until you believe what you are saying and you know that it's just flowing. It's very conversational. Don't sound rehearsed, okay? So now you prepared, and then on the visa day, tell us about it.
Oh, drama on the visa day. I remember that. So I selected 10:30 for a good reason. I didn't want 7 a.m. because 7 a.m. means I need to wake up already. I mean, it's a visa interview, but you're already a bit anxious because you know that the house time is only 1 or 2, but you're also using faith that it is only 1. I'm getting this visa at all costs. So I set off my house from like very early in the morning. There was some strange reason on that day, my car tire was flat. It was very, like, the air was so low, and it was like 5:30 a.m. I couldn't even find a place to pump the car tire, so I had to be, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't choose 7 a.m. for this visa interview. So I had to drive around gently with this loose tire until I eventually found a place and pumped the tire, and then I went straight for the visa interview. When I got there, another mishap. Me, I didn't know. I had taken the regular passport picture and had gotten there. So when I got there, people were saying there are usually some workers at the informal workers at the area, then they'll be guiding you with some things. So they were like, this is the picture, this is the picture. I was like, bro, this is not a picture you have. But quickly, there was this passport picture office there. I ran there quickly. Then I took a new picture, and that one is like the size is different. I think it's a unique US.
Yeah, so the US passport picture is slightly bigger than the usual passport picture. Everything here is big roads, big everything. I say that about them. So guys, I also have information about the size of the picture that you're supposed to use on my page. So even if you go to a regular, photographer, you're taking a passport picture for US, tell them that you are using it for a US visa interview or something like that, and they'll know exactly the size to give you.
Yeah. So I did that, and then there was a super long queue from the outside, and then we went to the inside, and eventually, I was even tired by the time it was my interview because I had been there from like 7 a.m. By the time I was ready to answer the questions, it was almost getting to 1 p.m. And
so were you standing?
We're standing most of the time.
There were no seats.
It was when you get to the inside the embassy. That's when there are seats there. Ooh. But before you enter that embassy, I had been outside for like maybe 3-4 hours standing, and it was drizzling at a point. But hey, we went to our visa at all costs. We were in it. So I eventually got there, and then she started to ask me. I think the first question was, why this course? Yeah. So like we had rehearsed, I gave her the answers to the questions, and then she asked why Brandeis University? Did you apply to any other schools? How are you going to fund this process? Do you have siblings? What works do your siblings do? When you come back to Ghana, what salary increase are you looking at? What is this job? What is this course going to do for you? What do you intend to do with this course after school? These were basically the set of questions that I was asking because I had prepared for the interview. I was very relaxed, and I was having a conversation. I had eye contact. I was smiling throughout, and then in the midst of answering my questions, I heard the words, "Your visa is approved."
That sentence,
I can never forget that sentence. I can never ever forget that.
feeling.
Yeah, and I remember that when we're on that emergency page, when people go for their visa interviews and then they get a visa, they would always come back to the page and say that when they hear those words, they go blank. They don't hear anything again afterwards. I was like, what's all this? But honestly, after I heard the words, your visa is approved, I didn't hear anything she said again. The only thing I heard was that DHL has done something, something, something. That's what all. And I was giving them, I had to come back and ask Dr. Reshlav that they said DHL has done something, something. What does that mean? It was super, super, super exciting. Yeah, it was super exciting. It was the questions that she's mentioned that are listed here. Those were the questions I was asking. I had the answers ready to them. And one of the interesting things to me is that in one of the questions, I think in one of her recent videos, she had mentioned that if you are talking about your school, it's important to be able to pick out, let's say, a professor in the school and say that this person's work appeals to you. This person is an international, this and this, a senior consultant for this, and the person's work appeals to you. You are really looking for you to be able to understudy the person because you think that an opportunity to study with this person will be a great step for you in your career. So I mentioned, I don't want to mention the person's name, but I mentioned the professor's name in there, said, I want to understudy the person, the senior international consultant, that I gave all to them. So, fast forward, it is interesting to know that I am actually today working with that same professor I mentioned randomly. I'm working with that person today. I emailed the person. I'm on the same team with the person today. Yeah, so it wasn't such a lie. It was an eventual truth. Yeah.
It was your truth. That's why I keep telling people that speak your truth, package your truth, and you actually manifested your truth. And yes, the person was really a professor there. Yes, you really like the person's work. Yes, the person's work was directly in line with what you were doing. So the forces of the earth will also even come together to help you get an opportunity to work with the person. So guys, we have 20 people on, and then thank you so much for staying. We are still on, and this is a very inspiring story. It's motivating, just learn lessons from it. We are going to answer some questions now. If you have any questions, please drop them. I see some more green ticks. I think green ticks is a thing now. Thank you for introducing this to our panel. We are so appreciative. So we have some questions. I'm going to actually do that. So as you are watching, please give this video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Really, really like it because we are bringing you value. We've increased to 22, and that's a huge number. And so thank you so much. So the question is, is from Inshira. She says that, does the 60-day rule hold? Sorry, I'm late. Inshira, you don't have to apologize for being late. We all have busy schedules. We totally understand. You could always go back to watch this. It will be on my channel when we are done, okay? You can watch the beginning. There's so much information there. So, Dr. Gaba, does the 60-day rule hold?
Yes, the 60-day rule actually states that, first of all, after you have applied for the emergency, after you have applied for the regular date, and it's way beyond your admission date, then you qualify to apply or appeal for an emergency date. But this emergency date, you can only send the email to request for the emergency within 60 days to your admission date or your start date on your OPT, on your I-20. So it's an important rule. And when you apply or when you send that email before the 60 days, they will not accept it, they will deny you. And then, like I was saying earlier, if you also send it too close, maybe 5 days to your European date, they may deny you because it's too short a time. So you really need to take the 60-day rule seriously. But the other thing I heard was that when you eventually miss out and they deny you, people hopped on to regular again because you don't qualify for emergency anymore, regular. And there were also special pages dedicated to regular date hunting that, for some strange reasons, they also randomly release early dates for regular pages. So hope was not lost after all. Hope was not lost after all.
So sometimes what happens is people have appointments and then they either cancel or they reschedule. Then their slots get opened. So it's easy for you to, get in and, stuff like that. So the system is very so to the 60-day rule, to be able to throw more light on it, I have my calendar open. And let's assume you're starting school on 1st August. That means that, so from July 1st to July 31st is 31 days. And then so let's say from June 2nd to June 30th. So anytime from June 2nd, you'll be able to apply.
Yeah.
So I'll take it again, assuming you are going to school on August 1st, that means that you need to be applying June 2nd. So that gives you a total of 60 days before your application. Okay. So I hope we have answered your question, Inshira. If we have, give us a green tick. All right. So we are going to continue the story. Now, the thing is, after you got your visa, so most of the times for some of the other pages, visa, then they leave it at that. But I don't leave it there. After you get your visa, it's also another thing altogether. Now, the process is a very huge process. But when you break it down into bits and pieces, it's easier. It's just one step at a time. The next step is to prepare and come. How was your preparation like? We're going to talk a little bit about your preparation. Tell us about it.
Okay, so my preparation, I had like it was this whole process was tedious because I had like I think I got a visa on I think 25th or 20 something of July, and I was supposed to be in the US. I got into the US August 27th, so I had like 1 month from the day I got a visa to be able to pack and leave Ghana, and it was a lot of work because you need to go through you need to now get a flight and all that, and it was tough because even I ended up with a very expensive flight because like the time to the flight was to be able to book a flight to travel was so short a time. So I had to quickly get a flight. I had to now sign out from work properly. I had to put in all my documents and all that. I had to pack the right stuff, what to pack and all that. And I think Dr. Richard has a video on what to pack and how to pack as well. So
What
I
don't
watched
I
videos.
have?
So yeah,
That's the question now.
I watched the video. So I actually sat down, watched the video, what things to pack and how to pack them, how to package them, even which bags to use and all those things. So I did that, and then of course for the bags, when you buy the ticket, they show you the flight will show you the bag dimensions. So I think it's when you buy the ticket, you get your dimensions, how many bags you're allowed to carry, and the dimensions, and then you buy those bags and you pack in. So you have to go and watch the video how to pack for these things, and then so they make sure that whatever you are carrying is not found suspicious, or you've carried some fish that has some strong smell, some canine.
More money.
That would just chase you around. So I had to do all these steps and practically be able to get here. And of course, you also have to look for accommodation as well. So I remember at the time. That's also why it's very good when you also go to a school, when you choose a school that you know someone there already. Because I think that's how I was able to get the accommodation. So because I already knew that Dr. Rechla was here, I spoke to her. That's like, hey, she knows that like now I got the visa. So she spoke to people who were here very close to the school. And she mentioned to them that her friend was coming around and needed accommodation. So they combed around and then they found for me a very good accommodation deal. And then I was able to get in, and I'm still in the accommodation, and it's very very close to the school, like 20 minutes or 15 minutes walk from
walking distance.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also have a video on accommodation, tips to find accommodation. If you don't know anybody in the school, you could also go on LinkedIn, just type your school and look for, people, alumni, look for people, just talk to them, just look for people who are currently in the school, those who just left the school. You don't know, when you set out to do something, I know somebody who just randomly reached out to somebody in the school. She didn't know anybody. She reached out to the person on LinkedIn. And then what happened was she ended up sharing a room with a person. That means that she paid half of what she would have normally or actually paid. And that was an amazing tip and trick. And I did not know that when I was coming here. So I make my mistakes, and I learn lessons and I use them to teach you. And the good things that I also do, I also tell you that I tell you what works, what does not work. And I'm very practical and I'm very real. So share the link and share the link and share the link. Okay. So you've come here, the journey and everything. What has been the most rewarding part of the journey?
I'll say that the most rewarding part, actually, there's been a lot. The contents of even the course that we were taught in the school is not just That's also why I mean, in choosing your courses, it's important to not just say that, not just be, I mean, head over heels, I'm running away from Ghana. So just choose any school, any random course. You have to choose a course with like really very good content. So, I mean, I'm employed today as a research associate. In fact, I was being introduced recently, and they were like the research analyst. So the course really was heavy, a heavy data analytic course. I mean, that option is there. So it was, by the time you are done with the course, you'll be fit to do a lot of research and you'll be fit to be able to do a lot of data analysis. So those things are very rewarding. I mean, today I feel I'm ready to do any research job. I feel I'm ready for any data analysis job. And this is so rewarding because about maybe 9 or 10 months ago, I was a dentist. And then 10 months fast forward, I feel confident as a researcher or as an analyst. So that feels really exciting and very, very rewarding as well. And then, of
Wow.
course,
And you know
the
the
job.
good part? You know the good part? You're still a dentist. You can still practice as a dentist. So this is like
Exactly.
an addition to what you
Mm-hmm.
already know. And it
Yeah,
sometimes it really sets you apart.
yeah,
And it's the fulfillment of knowing that you can do something different apart from what you know how to do. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Feels so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the most rewarding part. So let's talk about, it's not all rosy here. So let's talk about the challenges and how you overcame them. If I tell somebody, like, the challenges we go through here, it might probably scare them and they wouldn't come here. But we talk to you about it so that you'll be able to adjust and, not even adjust, be mentally prepared because you're going to face it. You will face it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to kill you. It's only going to make you stronger. So tell us about it.
Okay. So one of my challenges I would remember is searching for a job. So when you're coming to the US, and then they,
Parents, you did not see anything, please. You can't say that was a
no,
challenge
no, that
because
was when I was a student. When I was a student.
he's the fastest person I know who got a job. Don't try that. Don't try it. Don't try. Okay, but it's your
I was
challenge.
getting a
So
job. I was
I
getting
leave
a
it.
job
I leave
after
it. I
school.
leave it
Yeah,
to you.
she's right. After school, I'm the fastest person, even I know, to get a job, and a good one of that. I mean, but when I arrived, you always hear that when you get to the US, usually the schools have jobs. You can work at the library, you can work at this institute, you can work at
You
this.
mean when you got here? Okay, okay.
Hmm. Yeah. So when I go, I mean, I was excited. I mean, I was looking for it, and you hear that they'll pay you this amount per week. I was like, oh, okay, that's great, that's fine. So I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. So we came. You have to humble yourself because oh, your doctor, get the resume and this. I had to now look for a job at one of the places I heard it was easiest to get a job, which was like the school's cafeteria. So even now, I cried yet. I had to now like lower the resume because he needs here. I was like, I mean, cafeteria job, we need resume for this. Hmm. I had to adjust the resume. I mean, put in, I've done some customer service, do some things and all that to make sure that I fit in to be able to get a job. My goodness. Hey, cafeteria job, I didn't get it to. They bounced me. I did not get a job in the cafeteria. So I said, okay, you know what? Next, I hear the library is also a very cool place to get a job. So I went to the library. I also applied to the library. It's an official thing. You have to go to the school's website to apply to. I mean, even your resume cry is not even fitting. Like, how are you going to be a boring assistant at the library dentist? Like, what are you going to say is your experience to make you fit? But we put in some things in there and all that. I'll be there. I'll just receive an email. We are sorry.
You've been rejected.
Yes, you've been rejected. Your
At that
qualifications
time,
do
you
not
say,
match.
"Do you know me? Do
I'm
you
like,
know me?"
exactly. I'm like, do you like you? I can't give somebody a book and say bring this book on Wednesday. I mean, what do you mean? But I didn't. So I didn't. So I kept on. Now apply for another job. I'll see some research. I'll say, okay, maybe this one is research. It's in the health science. I'll apply. Then at a point, I'll just be receiving rejection emails. Rejection emails. It was really tough. So I mean, it got to the point where I had a personal beef with the school. I was like, me and this school, I'm not applying to any job in this school again because from cafeteria to library to research institute to counseling, to invigilation, everything I've been rejected. So me, I'm not applying to the school, any job in this school again. So like literally throughout the whole period of the program, I was not able to secure any job on campus. But you see, so the funny story is that so I had like a personal beef. It's like this school, me and you, nah, job you will not give me, so I'll not even apply to you again. But I mean, fast forward, rather, there I was one day, and then the school reached, like someone from an institute, a research institute in the school, reached out to me and said that, hey, Collins, we have a job opening. And then I was speaking to someone in the school, and the person says that I think you may be interested in this position. So if you are interested, apply and send me an email. So I was like, okay, finally, my arch enemy or my arch nemesis has reached out to me to give me an offer. Let me give this a try. So I gave it a try. I went for we're a number of people that went, we're like a number of doctors that went for the interview. So I went to the first stage of the interview, and I think after the first stage, they dropped a couple of people. I went through the second stage of the interview. They dropped a couple more people, and I think either just me or something, or other a few people that were left for the third stage of the interview, which was a data stage of the interview. And then I received an email that congratulations, you have been picked for this position. Yeah. So the same place that I had ruled out, like these people, me and you beef, are the same people who actually came through for me. And the good thing about getting this job was that, as a student, you can't really you can't work off campus. You're supposed to work on campus for, I think, 20 hours a week. And here I
And it
was
was
just
on campus.
yeah. Here I was just looking for a job like after school. But once they gave me the job, they were like, you know what? This is actually a full-time job for you to do after school. But you're already our student. So guess what? You can start immediately as a graduate
As
research
a graduate
assistant
research
in the
assistant.
school.
Yeah.
And then right after school, we'll transition you to full-time. So it means that finally I was able to actually get a job as a student on campus, and then right
Yes.
after school, smooth transition into a full-time position.
Into a permanent job. That is a really great story, and we are really happy, and we are happy for all the successes, and there is more to come. So we are really hoping for more to come. So guys, this is just to let you know that everybody's story is different. You may be on the same track with somebody, but everybody's story is different. I was there, I got into the school, and I just got a job like straight away. And I also say, I think one of the reasons why it was hard for you to get it was you arrived a bit late. So another lesson for you guys too is that if you really don't have a job before coming and you want to secure an on-campus job, it will be very good for you to, come into the school very early. Sometimes at that time, when the students are on vacation, that was what I did, and I was able to secure my job like relatively earlier. I got to the school some days before even school resumed, and then I went there, and then I talked to people, I did what I had to do, and then I was able to get a job right when school resumed. So that's another trick or another tip that I'm going to give you. So this has been very insightful. This has been very, 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 very informative. If you agree with me, give me a green tick. Give me a green tick and like the video and share, okay? Really share. When we are done, the video will be really, it will actually be here on my YouTube channel. You can still share with people who were not able to partake in this live session. So give us your very last words. If nobody has a question, if you have a follow-up question, just put it in the comment section of the video. We are just going to wrap up so that we can leave Dr. Collins to go and do all his geeky research work. He's going to be researching on things to save the world and reduce diseases. Okay, so TLA says that, TLA, where are you? So TLA was saying, really happy. Really, really happy for you, my doctor. We thank the Lord for his faithfulness. Yes, TLA.
Yeah, shout out to TLA. That's my pastor in Adam where I was working. Yeah.
Oh, great. Yes, TLA. Yes, the God has been very, very faithful. When we put our mind to something, I keep telling people, you put your mind to something, you put in the work. You don't have to just put your mind, pray and sleep. You put your mind, you put in the work, you pray to God, Allah, Buddha, anything you believe in, any totem you believe in. wherever your belief is, pray to that person, and you'll be surprised at how doors are going to just keep opening for it to align. And if it aligns with God's will as well, because sometimes it doesn't align and the doors shut, and then we are crying, only for us to realize that it was actually a redirection. So if you have not watched my video on rejection is redirection, this is the good time for you to watch right after this. A lady was rejected from over 10 schools in Europe, only to find herself with good scholarship in America. All those doors that were closing was a redirection to America for her to get a really good time here. So your final words, and then we can let our subscribers go. It's been so amazing. I love the interaction. I love the green ticks. I mean, I think at the end of this series, there are a number of people I need to give rewards to, because they've been so consistent on these live channels as well. Okay, so your last words, then we are out of here.
Okay, my last words. I saw Emmanuel Amwa. Shout out to Emmanuel Amwa. Shout out to my younger brother Charles Gaba was also there. I mean, shout out to all the home support I got. But then my last words will be that I think you should honestly really follow the steps or all the videos on the Dr. Rich Lavinbro website, because it has a step-by-step guide from how to choose a school, how to apply, what to consider, how to make the decision when you get the school, how to, decide on which one you are going for, how to prepare for the visa interviews, the questions that will be asked, even to the point of how to answer those questions and how to even pack your bag, because we are packing our bags. Like, the process as we are starting is going to end well. So we are go through each and every single video step by step, follow it faithfully to the very, like, the smallest detail, apply all those details, and I'm sure that indeed, whatever plan that you have decided to embark on is going to be fruitful. Yeah. And thank you for inviting me to your amazing channel. I've been a viewer and a subscriber, and today I get to be a participant. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. So
yeah, I'm a fruit of the channel. So yeah.
IB's channel, we see you. You are here. You are packing your bags. Jones, if you are packing your bags, please, I have a video on that. I'm going to do a rebranded video on that. But I know people are hot packed and doing their F1 visa interviews. So if you watch any of my videos, you get your visa, you can just come give your testimonials, so that we'll use it to actually motivate other people for them to come, okay, as well. And thank you so much for coming to tell us your story. Not everybody is so comfortable to share their story with the world. Sometimes people are very private and then they don't want to share. But one thing is, once we share, you never know who you are encouraging. We are helping somebody here, you're helping somebody there. And that is why some of us have come out to be able to share, to be able to assist all of you. So if you want to share your story, just come on my IG page, and then I'm going to schedule time with you. Just share. Your story is very different from somebody's story, and somebody can definitely make good use of that information. Like this video, more green takes. So, Canada Must Obey says, I'm glad to have subscribed to your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Canada Must Obey. And that means you also need to share the link and share my videos with other people, so they'll also benefit as well. So we have Inshira. Inshira is also saying that this was so informative. I'm a pharmacist, also getting into public health, so I'm stuck here. We love you. You're stuck. You're on the right channel, okay? So even those who are in the non-science fields, I got you. I really, really got you, okay? So Jones, keep packing your bag. And then Ishira is saying that this was very, very informative. And then yes, so that is all about it. So Clint is also saying something. Please, you said after school you have 1 year. Okay, it's OPT. After that, how do you transition to stay in the US permanently? Clint, your focus should be coming here first. If the US embassy sees this, you'll be in trouble. So you have 1 year for a normal OPT practical session, 3 years for a STEM OPT. You focus on that first. After that, there are definitely going to be videos about that, okay? Focus on that. Your focus should be getting back into your country, okay? If your consulate officer sees this, you're in deep trouble.
In deep trouble.
All right. So it's been a great session. Once again, my name is Dr. Rich global health expert and advocate. I currently work with one of the very big non-governmental organizations in America, and what we do is to do, health projects in middle and low income countries. So on this channel, I told you I talk about everything related to study abroad. I love to travel, so sometimes I'm going to drop some travel tips here and there, and lifestyle as well. General lifestyle living here, how to live on a budget as an international student, how to live your best life on the lowest budget. I got you. So thank you so much. I have been your girl, and I will always be your girl, Dr. Rich Love. See you. Bye.